So anyway, that's my preamble about the Tao and about the book, okay? So I assume that everyone here and everyone probably who's watching has read the introduction and at least some of the Tao songs. So I'm not going to go over the introduction at all, but I would like to go into then the first song to explore how and why it was adapted the way that it has been. So first I'll read it and then we'll go back through it. The way to salvation. The Tao is the way to liberation from the matrix of illusion known as the world. But the way cannot be grasped from an egocentric mindset, only from emptiness that saturates each frame of being time. The Tao that can be reduced to a name or concept that could be grasped by a created entity is not the authentic Tao. The Tao is real, but its locus is a dimension above that of thought, not an idea that can be contained in thought, since it belongs to the unknowable thinker, the mind that is dreaming the world. The Tao programs all the algorithms that produce every appearance and mental object and event. To pierce the veil that separates you from the Tao, be without intention. Totally empty, totally present, stretched to the limits of perception and open to what enters from beyond. To see the beauty of the world, realize that the intelligence and love of the Supreme One permeates each moment, and all beings and appearances, and the consciousness to whom it all appears. Even in this time of ugliness, of the horror of planetary death, beauty is everywhere. And ecstasy is our natural state. The Tao and the world's unfoldment are not two. Open your third eye and see with non-dual vision. The Tao is timeless while the world is ephemeral. The Tao will continue long after this world's demise. But even the momentary is eternal, and death has no effect on the real. The Tao has been called by many names, including God, nothingness, the self of the universe, the absolute. The true meaning of those terms cannot be understood by a mind that is split internally between subject and object and imagines itself bound by karma. Silent focus on the infinite self until immersion is complete will bring the rapture of salvation. Even when it seems all hope is lost in this hall of mirrors that is the cosmic holographic simulation, the immeasurable creative potency of the Tao is undiminished. The grace of the Tao, even now, is fully present in the center of your mind. So the song no doubt speaks for itself, and I don't need to go into all of that, but I do want to recognize that I deliberately created a dual goal of salvation and liberation. And they are complementary, and often they will occur simultaneously, but they are slightly different. Because liberation is freedom. And freedom allows you to be everywhere, to have everything, to be both transcendent and immanent, to be not limited by any conceptual, symbolic, or natural law. To be free means literally to be beyond any trajectory of change. It is the unity of the eternal and the temporal, whereas salvation is the transcendence of the temporal. It is being saved from karma, but liberation enables you to be in the field of karma, but not of it, and to be able to alter it from its creative roots in the very essence of what becomes the structure of reality. So, in the second verse, it says that the way cannot be grasped by ego, but only from emptiness that saturates each frame of being time. Now, the phrase being time I lifted from a great sage of the 13th century Zen tradition named Dogen Zenji. One of his very important fascicles of his great magnum opus, the Shobogenzo, was called Uji, which is being time. And in that poem of Dogen, he recognizes that the world is made indeed of freeze frames that happen in quantum time, but that each moment of time is being. It is our absolute being manifest microcosmically in every moment, every instant of time. And it's an extremely profound concept of being time. Being and time are not separate. They are not two different dimensions. You are not a being in time. Time is within your being, but time is also the manifestation of your being. So in any case, to be saturated, to have the emptiness saturated, means that in this moment you are totally saturated by the infinite potentiality of your total consciousness. That's what gives you freedom. That's what gives you liberation and salvation simultaneously. And to be saturated by that is the ultimate trip. It's the ultimate omnicentric, absolute recognition of the oneself, that you are not a limited appearance within the manifold of consciousness, but the entirety that can never be known except through its analogous appearance as a body-mind in a world. So the Tao cannot be grasped by such a body-mind, by an ego, by a worldling. It can only be grasped by that consciousness that recognizes there is no world, no other, and no I. Without being in that state, the gift of grace, of salvation and liberation cannot be received. So we must remain always in that dimension above thought to be able to download from that dimension into thought and into action the power of the Tao, the power of the mind of God, and all the algorithms that produce every egoic activity, whether in the microcosm or the macrocosm, all of the logic that produces all the scenarios of interactions in the world come from that same ultra-intelligence. And once one has the key to that logos, one is able to then become master of every situation. So you can pierce the veil and then you reach salvation. Or you can appreciate the beauty of the veil and you can develop in your understanding of the world itself as the manifestation of God's love and intelligence, the realization of the consciousness of God as yourself. So the Tao is always pointing to God realization as present here and now, if you are open to receive, and not sitting back trying to have a reaction, an attitude towards something, trying to figure it out, trying to respond, trying to be in combative reactivity to it. But you have to be in total openness, non-defensiveness, if you're going to be able to receive the Tao in its fullness. So the Tao and the world's unfoldment are not two. Even the ugliness of the world in its current form and its stupidity, its self-destructiveness, its demise and collapse of societies is part of the perfection of the unfoldment. So this first poem of the Tao Te Ching and of the Tao of the Final Days sums up the grace of the Tao and the way that we must configure our own consciousness in order to be able to revere, appreciate, recognize the messages that we are always being sent by reality to the source of the real that is creating it in its very reception of new experiences. Because what is new, what is now, is always the ultimate result, the fruition of all that one ever went through, all the wisdom, all of the accumulation of knowledge and experience, and all that shall be teleologically in one's destiny. All of it is here in every moment. And the Tao is teaching us how to be attuned to that and not stuck in some ghetto of mental chatter and some petty sense of wishing things were different and having emotional reactions and meltdowns because certain things happened or didn't happen. The greatness of the ultimate true nature of our essence is being given to us in every moment if we know how to take it, how to employ it, how to deploy it, how to be the instrument of the unfoldment of the Tao. So we only have 80 to go.